Hello, 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 beautiful people. It's Monday night. Welcome to the Pop of Color Late Night Show, where I discuss the music business the way that late night show hosts do about politics. Only we discuss relevant music industry issues for independent bands and artists, just like ourselves. I'm your host, Clara. I am so happy for those of you who are joining me live tonight. If this is your first time here, welcome. For all my returning viewers, welcome back. Don't forget that archives of this video, if you can't make it for the full live video, can always be found on my blog and on the archives in Facebook. Let's jump right into the news this week. BandCamp is opening a physical store in Oakland, California. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with BandCamp, it's an alternative streaming / music sale service. They've also expanded to selling merch over the last couple of years. But what you can do is you can upload your music there and sell it there. It's very common with independent artists as opposed to label signed artists. So you'll have a lot of local bands, the grungy DIY punk scene, who are very big into putting their music on BandCamp. So now, due to the sale of vinyl, which has been rising, BandCamp is opening a physical store in Oakland, California, where they're going to sell their independent artists' music. What's really interesting about this is despite having such a vast collection of millions of songs on their platform, they're only going to sell 99 discs at a time, only one of each artist, and swap them out. So it's going to be a treasure trove, it's going to be exclusivity, it's going to be for the artwork, for the novelty of it, more than just a catalog that you could find anywhere, like you could find the old HMVs or other record stores, which then got transported over to the iTunes store and then into streaming services. The new BandCamp store will be opening February 1st, and they're also in their location going to host concerts for all ages. These will be free to attend, and partnering with local organizations that are not-for-profit, such as Oakland School for the Arts, the Bay Area Rock Camp for Girls, and the Transgender Law Center, whom they had partnered with very vividly last year. So good for BandCamp. I'm very happy for them, and I'm very happy for all the artists who are using BandCamp, and especially those in the coming year, February 1st onwards, who are going to have their disc be one of the 99 that are on sale at this specialty brick and mortar location of the BandCamp store. Next little piece of news I wanted to talk about is Spotify has rolled out a "Don't Play This Artist" feature for their streaming platform. Because a lot of Spotify, the culture of it isn't just search up the artist you want to find and just listen to their entire album. It's a lot of playlists, a lot of creation, a lot of shuffling, a lot of surprise me, which is where the culture of discovering music has shifted to, and the mindset of that over the last few years. This has led to not always being in control of the music, yet, especially in light of recent allegations and artists not being found to have been as nice people as they were said to be over the years. Think the R. Kellys of the world and others. Some people feel that it wouldn't be ethical to continue listening to an artist's music if they have proven to be not good people in real life. The death of the author versus tying an artist to their work, so to say. So now for those people, or if you really don't like anything this artist does and they're mega popular and seem to be on all your playlists that you regularly listen to, you can now hit the "Don't Play This Artist" feature on your Spotify account. Last little piece I want to talk about. This isn't so much a news item, but more a very lovely blog post I found written by Willa Mehmet, who is an independent artist herself. I have the link to the full blog post in the archives of this video on my blog, and I'm going to link it in the description after this video finishes. But she wrote a blog post titled, "How to be a Hero for Independent Music." And it was a list of all these suggestions music fans, fellow artists, and everyone on the scene and in the community can do to be more supportive of the local music scene, and how to better support local artists in tangible ways, in small ways, in ways that will really help them. And I just thought it was so lovelily written. And I wanted to just share some of the highlights I thought were really cool. So one of them was, if you meet an artist who you would think would be perfect for a venue, tell them about that venue and tell the venue's management or booker about that artist. Introduce them. Buy tickets for shows in advance, like that the artist has a general idea of how many people are coming, or they can feel somewhat relieved and there's less stress on them for, are people going to show up? Who's going to show up? Will we have a full house? Will we be playing to an empty audience? When buying music, try to cut as many middlemen as possible. What is the best way to get the artists your money without other stores, middlemen, commission fees, anything else taking a percentage? So say if you want to buy the artist's music, instead of buying it on iTunes, where iTunes takes a 33% cut, going directly to their store to try to find and seeing if their store, who organizes their store. Is it Shopify? Is it Bandzoogle? Is it a different platform? Will it take a commission? And try to figure out what's the best way that if you're going to spend the money anyway, how are you going to put the most of that money in the artist's pocket? And the last one I really liked that I wanted to talk about was having touring artists stay at your place. So, for example, I live in a one-bedroom apartment. I've got my bedroom behind this wall, and I've got a couch. If a small solo indie touring artist I really loved was coming to town and was going to play in my neighborhood, I would be delighted to have them I would sleep on my couch and they could have my room. They would be eternally grateful to me, which would always feel great. It's number one fan right here. And it would also save them money on hotel rooms. So that is a little thing. That's a larger idea, but it's just ways we can really support the independent scene, because goal, problem, and having a problem, an obstacle to the goal, is what sparks our problem solving and makes really a community of people who want to support creators of art or who are creatives of art. And I just really, really like that about working with creative people, being a creative person, working with other creative souls. So that's the article I wanted to talk about. This is part of the news segment. Once again, I'm going to just link it in the description. I forgot to link it, and it didn't quite tag the writer, who I'm going to tag to after I finish going live. But now I want to get into the main presentation of tonight's video, do's and don'ts for Facebook live streams. For those of you watching right now, this is a Facebook live stream. I am right here live. It is 9:11 p.m. right here and 9:12 now. And if you are in Eastern Standard Time, it is the same time for you. For those of you watching later, this has been filmed live. There's no cuts, there's no second takes. If I trip over my words, which I have done already tonight, I tripped over my words and that's the end of it. So I wanted to give some do's and don'ts and explain what I mean. So, do have a clear field of view or clean background. So as you can see, my background is pretty simple. I've got the sofa, the cushions on the sofa, and my wall. Over the last year, little less than a year that I've had this show going, I've had different setups because I've moved. But one thing, you always want to make sure your field of view from camera to you is clear. So if I had my mug of tea in the way, it would look more sloppy. If I was sitting at a desk, or I had my desk in the background because of the way I was positioned, and it just had a ton of clutter on it from the day's work, it wouldn't be as nice. Try to keep things as clean and clear as possible because you want to be the main focus to your audience. You don't want them thinking, oh my God, this person I'm watching lives in a pigsty. Or them thinking, oh my goodness, they just need to move that mug off the corner of the screen. It's so frustrating, it's out of focus. Or worse, the camera's focusing on the mug instead of on you. Next one, don't be discouraged if not many people tune in live. So this is a very interesting one. I can attest to it firsthand, as well as other people who do live streams can tell you about. But the vast majority of viewers from Facebook live streams come in after the show is finished airing. So for example, right now, I have next to the flicking button that says how much time I've been on live, a little eye icon with a number. So apparently there's only 2 people who are watching live right now. But I'll bet that by the end of the week, like most weeks, there'll be over 1,000 people who have viewed this video. That's because after I finished, oh, now we're 3, hello third person. See, after I finish watching this video, it propagates across Facebook. If I keep it, it stays in the archives, it shares around. So that's why you shouldn't be discouraged if no one has tuned in right away, even if you're still talking throughout and it's 15 minutes in and there's only 3 people, you still should not be discouraged. You shouldn't think it's a failure because most of the magic with the numbers happens after the video has finished, after it's ended. So on the note of most people watching the replay is, you want to, so this is the do launch straight into the content. A mistake a lot of people make when doing their first Facebook Lives, especially if they're doing one that requires a community around them. So they're doing Q&A, or they're not quite sure what they're doing and they want reassurance that their fans are going to be there, is they launch the live and they're waiting, they're not doing much, or they're looking at themselves in the mirror, they're fixing their appearance while they wait for other people to show up. Not doing things right away may make sense if you were just going to be live for that one time, and as soon as someone tunes in, then you go into the hello everyone. But for the replay, if you spend the first 5 minutes just twiddling your thumbs, tapping your hands on the desk, not doing anything, that's what people are going to see in the replay. You can't cut that part out. And as a result, you're not going to gain fans, views for very long, shares, or the proper attention from not launching in right away when it first starts. Don't stick to a rigid script. So I have a script. I write down some news items as well as my do's and don'ts on here. Every week I do it in my trusty notebook. I just do bullet points. You really don't want to sound like it's totally scripted, especially it has that live charm. This isn't TV. This is the beauty of it. We're not being on the cable TV. This is live. I'm here having a conversation with you guys. And if it sounded really canned, really stiff, really scripted, couldn't be adapted, it wouldn't be the same and it would lose the charm that comes with that. So if you have some notes of what you're going to say, so that's a do have a general idea of what you're going to say, but you're able to be flexible, you're able to adapt to who's there, you're able to really come into yourself and your own way of speaking, it's going to be a much more relaxed and fun time for you, less anxiety, and feel a lot more natural and feel a lot more conversational, which is why fans love Facebook Lives. So here's another one. Don't worry about skipping on your words. Once again, earlier if you were watching at the beginning, which you can always go back and watch later, I tried to pronounce the word lovely I was trying to make lovely an even longer adjective and completely flopped on that. That is not proper English. But the point I'm trying to make is, because this isn't scripted and it's live, so you don't get to do several takes over and over and over again until you get it right, don't worry about tripping on your words. Your fans know what you're saying. You know what you're saying. You're here with your friends. Your fans are your friends. See, I even chirped right there. And you're just all having a great time together. Just be yourself. Don't worry about it. If you stutter, if you stumble, if you mispronounce something, if you mistranslate something, just keep rolling. No one's going to notice but you. Or if they do, it's just part of your charm. It's just part of you being a human. This is the best time to be an independent artist. Because the advantage that we have, that lots of these superstars don't have right now, is that we can be one-on-one with our fans. We can be close to our fans. They're so high up and so far away that fans, while being big fans of their music or reading all their interviews, don't feel like they have the direct access that we can afford to have because we don't have millions of screaming people. I can be here just with you guys and talking and answering individual questions and knowing your names and knowing your birthdays and knowing some stuff about you. So do end strongly. Just like you don't want to ramble on the beginning or twiddle your thumbs, you want a strong ending as well. Because once again, it's a video. You don't need to come to a definitive conclusion. You don't need to end with a soliloquy or some big manifesto, but having a strong goodbye ending is a key component to keeping the video wrapping, keeping it going, and just making it seem put together, making it seem somewhat professional, making it entertaining. Earl's here. Earl, do you want to come here? Nope, he's just chilling underneath my table right now. For those of you who don't know, I have two cats who are running around very happy right now. I've got Louise over there on her throne. She has many thrones. And Earl, who's chilling under the table, wondering why I'm not paying attention to him. Don't be afraid to repeat information. There's Earl. So, because people tune in at different times, you're able to repeat information, especially if this is a longer episode. I've seen artists who do episodes that are going to be an hour long, and they're just chatting with their friends, doing Q&As. Repeat information if it's really important. Say you're doing this Ask Me Anything as a way to promote your new music release. If you are don't assume that fans know everything about you. Assume that lots of people, because Facebook Live videos are so favored by Facebook, that they go everywhere, they propagate throughout different news feeds. Don't assume that only your super fans are going to see it, or people who know a lot about you. So you're welcome to mention new things. If you follow me on Instagram or just about any social media platform, you know I'm obsessed with my two cats. Well, I just mentioned it right here because there are some people, I'm sure, who are new-time viewers and who wouldn't know that. Do go live consistently and or pre-promote your broadcasts. So if you do, one of the ways I see this and the success that I've found with live videos and other people such as Austin James, who makes a living off just going live every day to his fan base, is that we have regularity. So I'm once a week, every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's like a television show. People tune in, you know when it's on. You're disappointed when it's canceled because of weather, because of illness, all sorts of reasons, or you can't make it because you have a gig that night, but it's regular. Austin, who once again, I need to link this over in the description after this video airs, is doing it every single day. Pick a time, pick a day. It can be weekly, it can be more than that, it can be twice a month, but keeping it consistent, keeping it regular. It's the same idea as with YouTube. You know, if you upload once a day for a week, then stop for 6 months, upload something, stop for 3 years, upload something. You don't become worth following, worth engaging with on that platform in that medium because you don't seem regular, consistent. And it's not the best way fans feel like they're close to you and like they can engage with you. Don't ignore your live viewers. So for those of you who are online right now, I know from people who have tuned in that Chantal, Angela, Adam, and Spencer have all tuned in so far right now while I'm live. one of the benefits of being live on Facebook is you can see who's online as you are live online. So in the past, I've interrupted episodes or just gone off my tangent just to say hi to people, answer questions in the chat, and just be there in the moment, be there, because this is a live studio, not even a live studio audience, a live broadcast audience. Same idea as calling in on a radio show. Something that you can't do if it's pre-scripted. And that is one of the beauties of Facebook Live, and we should definitely take advantage of that when we go live. Same thing with the chat, with the comment section, with the chat, encourage questions, engagement, tipping. If you set up an online tip jar, I recommend paypal.me, me as in M-E. You can set up a custom PayPal link where people can tip you, and you could have it as a virtual tip jar. So if you're a musician who plans on playing ukulele live, as opposed to ukulele down on the street because, say, it's winter and there's a snowstorm, such as right now outside, if people aren't going to throw coins in your ukulele case, you could have a link right in the description of your video and say, this is my virtual tip jar. No pressure, but throw $5 in there, no big deal. Try to have good lighting and good angles. So I have good lighting on my show, or at least I like to think I do. I think I overlit tonight, but if I had terrible lighting, if I just went by my room lighting, this is what it would look like. It becomes grainy, it becomes unprofessional, I guess. But this is what I live in day to day, because this is regular lighting, but this is the sharp contrast. Whereas if I turn my lighting setup back on, suddenly I'm illuminated, it's easier to see me, and it stands out in the newsfeed as being slightly higher quality. Same thing goes with angles. I filmed this on my computer laptop, so I need a steady surface, and I've got different options around my house with what I can use. So right now, you guys are on my dining room table. I have angled my sofa. As you can see, my sofa is angled behind me like this, as opposed to flat, because I'm not using my coffee table because my coffee table is too short. Another option is piling Amazon boxes, or in this case, David's tea boxes, as a way to adjust height. You want to have, depending on what you are doing, you want to show more than just your face. And if you're playing guitar, if you're speaking for a long period of time, you don't want to be holding it if you're doing that on the phone. So whether it be a tripod for a phone or a table surface for a laptop, you want to make sure you have enough room to see yourself. You are not cut off by being too tall or too short. You want the angle to be good so that you don't look like this or like this on people. You know, you want the camera to be tilted, because if the computer is tilted like this is what you get. If the computer is tilted too low, this is what you get. Not quite as great as when it's straight, or the angle that I adjusted right before I went on. So angles, look at that when you go live on Facebook. Right before you go live, before you hit the go live red button, you get to see yourself in the webcam or the phone camera. In that case, you can make some last minute adjustments, test the lighting to make sure you're not overlit or not backlit by anything, and everyone can clearly see your face. And the last tip I have is to stay positive even when things don't always work out to plan. It's live. You can't control it. There's going to be tech issues. I've had loads of tech issues over time with my show. So whether it be the sound cuts out or the computer slows down, I get glitchy, especially if you check out some episodes from this past summer where I had special guests on. There were some tech disasters. So now whenever I have guests, they sit on my sofa, like last week's with Danielle. Fun fact, my computer's getting old. But the point being is you can never predict what's going to happen, but keeping it calm, cool, and steady is going to be a lot better, especially if you're still alive, than freaking out with your fans on air, because they're going to feel bad for you. They're going to feel awkward watching you scramble around. They're going to feel uncomfortable and care about you, but not in the way you want them to be. It's the equivalent to watching a singer-songwriter play a set who is very awkward, bad stage presence, visibly nervous, audibly tripping on his words, visibly dropping guitar picks, and you're just like, oh, this is so horrible to watch. I hope he gets over his fears, or I hope he can overcome this. That's the same idea when people are watching you live. You want to stay cool and collected even when you trip over your words, even if something tech happens, the lights go out, or things slow down, or your cat climbs up. Take it all in stride, take it easy. There's nothing like live video. So thank you so much for watching my episode tonight. Once again, we are live every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. I'm your host, Clara. I just got a haircut this past Friday, so I hope you guys still recognize me. I run Pop of Color, which is a music marketing and branding agency. I'm based in the coldest capital of the world this week, Ottawa, Canada. Seriously, I just got back from an industry event right before I went on air. That's why I was 2 minutes late, and I just had to run my hands under water in the sink to thaw them out. For those of you who did not attend or who aren't from the city, I'm part of the Ottawa Music Industry Coalition, which hosted an event which was a panel speak on imposter syndrome, which is something that 70%, as I learned, of people face, and it's especially prevalent in creative industries, in the music industry, with people who feel like they don't deserve the opportunities they got, who feel like it was a mistake, like they shouldn't, it's too early, they don't deserve it, they're downplaying their success, and they feel like a fraud, like it's all gonna go wrong. And one of the panelists who spoke was Kelsey Hayes, who I interviewed this past summer. She's the singer-songwriter, jazz, pop. She's cool, she's lovely, she does a lot in the community, and she spoke on the panel. She had a lot of interesting insights, and she did really well, so I wanted to just applaud her all over the internet for all of you to check out. I've got the news sources in the archive of the show, which is in the description. So if you scroll down to news covered, the second kitty cat, and under how to be a hero for independent music, but before say hi, I've got the show archives. Do check that so you can click on the individual news articles or read that blog post if you want to know more about the things I was talking about earlier this week. I am so happy you guys are here. I am so grateful. Have an excellent week. Be good to each other. Stay colorful. Stay warm, those of you who are hit by this Arctic blast. And I will be back next week, though I do have blog articles that come out on the regular. And follow me on social media. Follow your dreams and follow my Instagram. Have a great night. Bye.